Okay, so Hazbin Hotel Season 2 is finally here after almost 2 years, and I've got some thoughts. Look, we all know Season 1 had problems. Even the hardcore fans couldn't pretend the pacing wasn't messy. Everything felt super rushed, and that first episode basically assumed you already knew everyone. So the big question is, did Season 2 actually fix any of this? I just finished the first 2 episodes, and honestly, it's a mixed bag. Let me break down what's working, what's still broken, and whether this season is worth your time. So first things first, there were rumors going around that Season 2 would have longer episodes to help with the pacing. Yeah, that doesn't seem to be happening, at least not yet. Maybe later in the season? Who knows? But right now, it's basically the same episode length as before. That said, the premiere does flow better than Season 1's opener. We're not just thrown into chaos this time, there's actually some setup. The hotel is recovering from the big fight with Adam, but now they've got a new problem. The media is spinning the whole thing as if the hotel is training demons to kill angels. Voxtech is pushing this narrative hard, and it's working. The hotel suddenly has a line of demons waiting to check in, which sounds great until you realize none of them actually want redemption. They just want to learn how to fight angels in the next extermination. It's basically the opposite of what Charlie wants, and she's struggling to deal with it because she's still messed up over Pentious' death. Charlie's in a rough spot mentally. She thinks Pentious died for nothing if she can't prove redemption works, and she's putting all this pressure on herself to live up to her mom's legacy. Lilith supposedly united demons without violence, and Charlie feels like she's failing at the one thing she actually cares about. The fact that all these demons are showing up for the wrong reasons just makes it worse. Cherry Bomb is dealing with her own stuff. She and Pentious had this whole thing going on. He liked her, he was starting to like him back, they kissed right before he died. Classic tragic timing. Now she's coping by just pretending she didn't have feelings for him, which is pretty realistic, honestly. Meanwhile, Charlie's trying to replace Pentious with this new guest named Baxter, who's also an inventor. But Baxter isn't there to be redeemed. He literally wants to prove that redemption is impossible. He's treating the whole thing like a science experiment he's trying to debunk. So that's going to be interesting to watch unfold. Oh, and there's this running joke where one demon reporter keeps making the same joke about killing his wife like 4 times.
And should I kill my wife? And should I divorce my wife? I killed my wife!
First time was kind of funny, but by the 4th time I was like, all right, dude, we get it. Lucifer is doing slightly better than last season since he and Charlie are actually talking now, but he's still pretty depressed. Lilith being gone is really taking a toll on him. He's still making ducks all day and barely leaving his room. At least he can have actual conversations with Charlie now instead of avoiding everything. So, baby steps, I guess. Honestly, the highlight of episode 1 is definitely Vox and the other Vs. Their songs are absolute bangers. I've had We Get Up There stuck in my head since I watched it. Vox is basically radiating main character energy, which might annoy some people, but I'm into it. Full disclosure, I'm a Vox fan, so I'm biased here. His whole plan is to use the hotel's reputation to start a war with heaven, so he and the other Vs can become gods instead of just overlords. The funny part is Valentino and Velvet don't even care about this plan at first. Val literally asks, why do we even need to rule heaven? Because he's perfectly fine where he is. This is really just Vox's ego trip. He's obsessed with power and proving himself, especially to Alastor. There's this one moment I gotta mention because it felt kinda off. There's a scene where they bring up Valentino's abuse of Angel Dust, and they play it as a joke with cartoonish sound effects showing Angel getting hit. I don't know, man. The show has treated their relationship pretty seriously before, so making it into comedy now felt weird. Some people won't care, but I can see why others would find it uncomfortable, especially since we've seen how traumatic that relationship is for Angel. The episode ends with Charlie finally setting some boundaries. She tells everyone who's not actually interested in redemption to leave, and surprise, everyone leaves except Baxter. It's a good moment for her character. Then Emily just shows up out of nowhere and tells Charlie that Pentious made it to heaven and that the hotel actually works. I wasn't expecting them to reveal this so soon. It would have hit harder if we saw Pentious in heaven first before Charlie found out, but whatever. Episode 2 shows us what's happening in heaven during the same time frame. We get Pentious' backstory, and it's actually pretty sad. Back in the 1800s, he was this anxious inventor who who witnessed Jack the Ripper's murders but was too scared to do anything about it. That's why he ended up in hell, not because he killed anyone, but because he didn't stop it from happening. This creates an interesting connection with Sarah, who let the exterminations happen for centuries. Both of them stood by while bad things happened, and now they're dealing with the fallout. There's a new character called the Speaker of God who confirms that Pentious earned his way into heaven through his sacrifice. The design for this character is really cool, very mystical looking, but Lute is absolutely furious about this whole situation, especially since she also lost the army general position to Abel. Here's the thing though, Pentious is actually miserable in heaven. Everyone keeps singing about how amazing it is, but he just wants to go back to hell and see his friends. Emily tries to help by decorating his room and making him comfortable, but he's genuinely depressed. Apparently, there's no way to contact people in hell, which seems weird because we literally see Lilith has phone service in heaven. She's just ignoring Charlie's calls. What's up with that? What's her deal? Sarah's trying to figure out how to lead now that everyone knows what she did. The show wants us to feel bad for her, but it's tough when she authorized literal genocide for hundreds of years. I'm not really feeling sympathetic yet. Lute has completely lost it. That Adam we saw in the trailers, total hallucination. She's so unstable that she's seeing her dead boss and using him to justify why Abel shouldn't be in charge. She's convinced she needs to take action against Hell on her own, even if Sarah thinks it's treason. Could be setting up something bigger for later in the season or even season 3. The song Gravity in this episode is incredible though. Jessica Vosk kills it. Probably my favorite song from both episodes. So how does this compare to season 1's premiere? Honestly, it's pretty close. Some things are better. The flow is smoother, the villains are set up better. Some things are still problematic, the pacing is still rushed sometimes, and big reveals happen too fast. I think splitting Heaven and Hell into separate episodes was kind of clunky. It might have worked better if they switched back and forth between both locations within the episodes, instead of dedicating entire episodes to each side. But the music is still great. That's one thing this show consistently nails. Even when the lyrics are a bit cheesy, the songs are catchy as hell. Overall, these first 2 episodes are fine. They're about the same quality as season 1's opener. Better in some ways, worse in others. Nothing revolutionary, but not terrible either. If they can keep things focused and give the storylines room to breathe, this season could be an improvement. We'll have to wait and see. What did you think of the premiere? Better than season 1's start, or about the same? Let me know in the comments. If you like this breakdown, hit the like button and subscribe for more Hazbin content as the season goes on.